sleigh. Unfortunately, I had yet to discover what my talents were. I did know one thing, though. I had to bury my feelings for Avram, push them down so deep that they ceased to exist at all, which wasn't going to be easy since I'd admired him forever. My stomach did a little flip each time I saw him around the neighborhood. There was no mistaking the way his coat stretched across his wide shoulders, or the confident way he walked. Avram wasn't too tall or too short. He was the perfect height for a man, and when he spoke, his hair flopped onto his forehead. Avram laughed a lot, too, and he made others laugh. He was what Papa called a jokester, and Papa didn't mean it as a compliment. But since Avram's family owned a popular jewelry store on Belgius Street, Papa could overlook Avram's shortcomings. I didn't think Avram's sense of humor was a shortcoming. I liked his ready smile and the row of shiny white teeth it revealed. I also liked how deep his voice was, and the way it rumbled in his chest. The fact that he turned his smile on me more often than anyone else was something I spent too much time thinking about, especially late at night when I was alone in my room. But Avram couldn't be interested in me if he was meant for Zosha. She was the eldest, although barely. She was only 1 year older than me, and Papa intended to have her married off first. I would be next, and then Leah, the youngest, at only 9 years old. She still cared more for dolls than boys. "Meira, get dressed. They'll be here soon." Zosha's heels clicking on the floor alerted me to her entrance in the kitchen. She had on her best shoes, the gray dress she wore to synagogue, and her dark blonde curls were captured by a thick gold barrette at the nape of her neck. Zosha's body bristled with nervous energy as she stood for Mama's inspection, and I couldn't help wondering what I would wear if I were dining with someone who could be my future husband. Our clothes weren't fancy, but that didn't mean we had to look drab and colorless the way Zosha did. If I were her, I'd tie a red scarf around my neck and match it with red lipstick. Of course, Mama would tell me to take it off, and I'd agree for the moment, but then I'd have it back on when my future husband arrived, and Mama wouldn't dare say a word about it in front of him. The fact that I cared more about my appearance than Zosha did about hers was no secret. From the time we were little, my parents would give us very different compliments. I was pretty and precocious, while Zosha was smart and responsible. As much as I liked being called pretty, I wouldn't have minded being called smart once in a while. Just like Zosha would have appreciated being told she was pretty. For the most part, Zosha and I got along, but there was an undercurrent of competition between us. I wasn't sure when it started or why, but it was there, and it prevented us from becoming too close. Avram's family was punctual, and that impressed Papa. He was always going on about my lateness and lack of proper planning. As a tailor, all his measurements had to be precise, and his alterations delivered on time, or he'd be out of business. I couldn't recall how many times he'd mentioned those facts to me, insinuating that I was neither precise nor on time. Our small parlor became crowded as Avram and his parents came inside. I stood back, holding Leah's hand to keep her from disappearing upstairs to play or color. She fidgeted beside me, not understanding the importance of this moment. Avram is here, in our house. Papa took their coats and hats, and I caught glimpses of Avram from where I stood off to the side, noticing the way he removed his arms from his overcoat and smiled brightly at my mother. Don't smile so much, I thought. He'd never win my father over by smiling. Papa didn't trust happy people. Avram's gaze scanned the room, and when his eyes...